Righto then, let's get into the Train Sim World March 2025 roadmap. And we'll run through this in a moment. As usual, I read through the roadmap to improve the accessibility of the information for those who can't or won't read it for themselves. In the approaching soon quadrant in 0 to 3 months, we have Thomas and Friends visit the West Somerset Railway, Cardiff City Network, Spullins, Wally, Groningen, Cargo Line Volume 3, Intermodal. Volume 4 seems to have disappeared. London Overground Mildmay Line from Incredible Trains, which came out a couple of days ago. East Coast Main Line Diesel Rail Tour Pack from Athena. Frankfurt S-Bahn S1, S8 and S9. That's newly added to this one, which is pretty cool. And performance optimizations. Add-ons which are coming after 3 months. The DB-BR 420 appears to be back in the list from TSG. An unannounced German Loco Pack from TSG. Class 86/2 from Just Trains. Manchester Airport Commuter from Alan Thompson's Simulation. Hasn't there been a little bit of stimulation around the simulation there, Alan? Cargo Line Volume 4 Military. That's over here. Tadami Line Aizu Wakamatsu Tadami from Union. BR Class 104 and Peak Forest Expansion from Simtrack. Santa Fe Gameplay Pack from High Iron. A German Loco from Simtrack. And improvements, Great Western Express Remaster, Schnell Fast Streck Colon Aachen Timetable Update. That stuff hasn't moved much. Alright, let's get into the too long didn't read TLDR summary. Some of you will leave at that point, and that's okay. The Springtime Sprint Takeover. So I won't run through that list because we already talked about it up there, and there's only one bit of information up there that's not in the graphic, and that's that the VR is releasing on March 27th. Content up ahead, announcing Frankfurt S-Bahn representing the S1, S8 and S9 from the S-Bahn Rhine Main Network. There we go. Third-party partners, the return of the DBBR 420. Yes, we noticed. Maybe it'll come out one day. Who knows? East Coast Mainline Diesel Rail Tours, further updates from Athena, Santa Fe Gameplay Pack from High Iron, blah, 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 blah. All the usual stuff. And some community corner things, which interestingly aren't actually in this article, but that's okay. There's a Train Sim World Boxed Edition for suckers, people who think they actually own it when they buy it on disc rather than downloading it from their platform. They're actually wrong, but that's okay. They can live in their false sense of security that a disc gives them something. PC Editor Tutorial Series, learn to make a basic scenario with Rob Powell. March Mastery and new Calm Mastery posters coming soon. Calm is the campaign against living miserably. It's particularly aimed at gamers and streamers and content creators of all different kinds and flavors who are having some issues in their life, and Calm can help provide for them and give them some ways out of their quandaries. Train Sim World Route and Loco add-on manuals. The Frankfurt S-Bahn and the DBBR 420 will be Gen 9, which is Xbox Series S and X and PS5 and PC only releases. Gen 8, get out mate, it's time to upgrade. You need to upgrade or you're going to be left behind. Sorry to say that to you. Alright, let's get into the details then. The Springtime Sprint Takeover. Whoa, what's this? Our March roadmap has been overtaken in the fast lane, and we're going to have lots of terrible jokes from Alex in here, I can just tell. Springtime Sprint lining up on the grid are the London Overground Mildmay. It says releasing tomorrow, but that was actually yesterday. Spullins Wally Groningen, featuring the Koplopa and the NSSNG3 Sprinter, releasing late March. Thomas and Friends visit the West Somerset Railway, releasing in spring 2025, so that's sometime in the next 3 months. There's no better date than that. Preview streams for the above Train Sim World 5 add-on releases. Train Sim World 5 Boxed Edition, releasing in the USA on 13th of March. Cardiff City Network, featuring the Class 153 and 150 Sprinters, releasing mid-March. Train Sim World VR New York, pre-order now for a 10% discount, releasing on the 27th of March. East Coast Mainline Rail Tour Pack, Athena Simulations first Train Sim World offering. Sales opportunities for TSW and TSC back catalogue on all platforms. Train Simulator Classic add-on releases. You know, I'm tipping that TSC is only on Steam. We're excited to welcome you to an action-packed new roadmap for Train Sim World 5, where alongside our usual insights for our progress on new content, updates, screenshots and future announcements, we will be celebrating the season of spring with our Springtime Sprint. Now, we've just been through all of those, so there's just a quick scan. It doesn't appear that there's actually any new information in there, so I'll skip it. Of course, we will pit stop to our usual roadmap segments to focus on TSW patches, information from our third-party partners, and news from across the community, as well as ways you can get involved with new Mastery rewards and TSW PC Editor. Start your engines, let's head to the front of the lineup. In pole position is the London Overground Mildmade line. Well, this is released, so I'm actually going to go whoop and skip right over it, look at all the pretty pictures. You can't actually see that view from in the game, just saying, because you can't get up high enough, just saying. You can only do it in dev, just saying. Let us get up higher in the game, please. Otherwise, views like that are just wasted. Anyway. And thank you for your input, computer. You're helpful. We have the DLR and a couple of 378s. And the big pink thing that was built for the Olympics, the pretzel. It's a strange thing. You can't actually get next to it, which is sad because it's a really detailed model. It'd be nice to be able to get right up next to it. Or maybe you can climb it. That'd be cool. But no. Very busy, very busy. Now, one of the interesting things about Mildmay is the trains over here on the Mildmay line. You can drive them. Trains over here are on another line. You can't drive them, even though they parallel you for most of the trip. You can't have them. No. As a final note, we will not be anticipating any reductions of services between Gen 8 and Gen 9. Well, you know, that's starting to suffer, so I'm tipping that might just get reworked in an upcoming patch. I'm just tipping that. People on Gen 9 are suffering texture issues because they're running out of video memory because the route is so bloody detailed. Please don't make it bland. Find a better way. But anyway, Sprinter traffic coming with the Cardiff City network mid-March. A new country coming to TSW will be a Wales of a time. Don't worry, there'll be more than we can leak. Sorry, leak. God. In the preview stream this month, but we have a rare bit of new information and screenshots. You know the pun's really bad when you have to put it in bold so people notice. New information and screenshots in the roadmap. We're getting closer to the release of Cardiff City Network, Radar and Corrigan to Penarth and Bay Cadid. We will be hopping aboard Transport for Wales services into the heart of Cardiff. And you'll be sitting there struggling with Welsh station names. Anyway, we can see here a 153, number 361. It's a single diesel unit. On its way to Corrigan, heading through the bush in Wales. So people who are expecting just a completely built-up route, there's plenty of trees. It is still a built-up area, though, but there's plenty of trees. With the BR Class 153, you'll be able to experience two variants, the BR Class 153/3 and the BR Class 153/9 diesel multiple unit. These subclasses offer different passenger interior, with the 153 /3 being fully PRM compliant rail car featuring an accessible toilet. Bet we can't go in there. Meanwhile, the 153/9 is a light PRM compliant unit and does not feature the same toilet. Naturally, this means the 153 also has an extra blanked out window on the visible exterior. Should they be the other way around? Because it's got an extra toilet. Oh no, it's the 1533 yes, that's fine. Good. Don't mind me, I'm an idiot. These will be joined by the 150/2 diesel multiple unit and Transport for Wales, featuring new headlights, destination boards and other modern features, and hopefully a better sound set, because the one it's got is a bit crap. Alrighty, we can see here 150 number 267 lined up with 153 number 325 and 153/909. So each of the subclasses sitting there with their tail lights on, all listed as not in service in a shed. We've got pits in the shed. That's cool. Hopefully we can get down in the pit. There's one other route that's got pits. I can't remember which one it is, but there's one other. This urban commuter route will test you as it packs over 20 stations across 20 miles of track from Radar, Corrigan, Leffel, Oakley, Minid, Beacon, High Heath level to Cogan, Penarth and Bay Cadid, Cardiff Bay, with Welsh and English bilingual signage and posters across the route. Excuse me, I am still recovering from the dreaded lurgy COVID. I'm really enjoying it. Anyway, you can see here one of the Welsh stations, not being from Wales. I don't recognise it. I can't quite read the sign. I think that just says information, actually. So I couldn't tell you which station this was. We won't drag on with the details. You'll be hearing much more from us later in the week about the upcoming Welsh adventure, so hang tight and get ready for a city sprint coming mid-March. So that means the reveal stream is soon. And we here at Cardid, which is Cardiff Central. We've got an HST sitting here in GWR colours as well, implying a layer. So that doesn't come with the route, you need to own it. Get ready for Spullion's Wally Groningen coming in late March. Our journey to the Netherlands is coming up at the end of the month, and we're getting ready to embark on an all-new type of European adventure as we explore Train Sim World's first Dutch route. And here we can see the Koplopa. Everybody's going to get used to saying Koplopa. They're all going to turn into Dutch South Africans. Koplopa. And we'll be driving this thing. It's very similar to a Japanese train, actually, that looks very, very similar, with its high driving position. Catch up on 107 kilometres of track from Zwolle to Groningen, stopping at 8 stations along the way, featuring an authentic Netherlands Spoorwegen signage and PIS displays. Passenger information system. And here we have a station with a couple of koploppers sitting in it. Quite a nice large station, that one. Nice glass roof. You will have the choice between the SNG Sprinter 3-car electric multiple unit and the incredible ICMM Koplopa 3-car electric multiple unit with its flight deck-like cab as you learn new signals, signages and systems across the route. New signals, yay. Signages, yay. And systems, yay. Will it be as horrible as PZB? Only one way to find out. My bet is yes, because it's Dutch. The only people that can be more German than Germans are the Dutch. Right, there is no such thing as simple. Look at this train. How many levers has it got? Why does it need so many levers? It's an electric train. Why does it need so many levers? Bloody 4 of them. Millions of buttons. But anyway, that's fine. We'll get over it. We'll learn it. It'll be fine. To help ease you in, we've also made updates to the Frankfurt folder DB Vectron to support Dutch signalling, screen updates, both English and Dutch speaking sounds, as well as the ATB safety system, which should hopefully give owners the add-on of familiar loco to ride as you discover the Netherlands. So we can tool around in the Vectron. Here we have another scene of a koploper next to some water. Get used to water in the Netherlands because it's kind of wet. If they stop the pumps, it gets even more wet. Must be quite interesting to maintain a railway with that much water, actually. Quite hard. We look to sharing more in the later coming weeks as we work towards the release date at the end of the month. So that says release at the end of the month, but didn't it say middle of? No, late March. Okay, it's Cardiff coming middle of the month. Right, ignore me. Told you I'm an idiot. Don't mind me at all. Alright, Train Sim World VR New York releasing March 27th. Pre-order now for 10% off. Our first VR title, Train Sim World VR New York, is now available to pre-order. Developed by our partners at Just Add Water for the MetaQuest 2 and 3 systems, get ready for a new way to experience TSW as we bring MTA Harlem Line to your home, exploring between Grand Central Terminal and North White Plains. You'll be able to jump aboard the MTA, M3A and M7A trains accelerating above the streets of Park Avenue and through the Woodlawn suburbs with 24 miles of track ready to traverse. I am one of the beta testers for this thing. I really can't tell you anything about it. We wanted to take some time to acknowledge some key community-raised questions in this roadmap that you may have in Train Sim World VR ahead of the release. Let's see if this gives me an opening. Why did we choose to develop this on MetaQuest systems? Meta is by far the biggest market leader in the VR space, and the teams have been very supportive of our first journey into VR with Train Sim World franchise. That's corporate speak. Very supportive. Just think about very supportive. Just think about what that means. I'm not going to enunciate it. Did we consider including VR as part of the existing Train Sim World game? An opening. VR is a very different challenge and would require reworking the underlying infrastructure of the game with a higher level of focus on usability and the virtual experience. Starting from a new standalone game whilst working with the Just Add Water development team and their past experience in VR titles made much more sense. Yes, this gives me an opening. This is an entirely different game, right? It's pitched differently. Wait and see. Has the development of TSW VR taken time away from the existing Train Sim World? Oh, didn't they get a little angry, the trolls on the forums, about this? Well, they were wrong too, but that's okay. They usually are. In fact, they nearly always are. Whilst our teams at Dovetail work to promote and publish the title, the development of Train Sim World VR is handled entirely by Just Add Water team and has no impact on the development of the timelines of Train Sim World. So there. It's something that the trolls need to get used to is Dovetail work on more than one title. Right? They've got a lot of stuff in the works. And it's not just the stuff that you're expecting. There is stuff. I can't tell you any more about that. There's stuff. But, you know, get used to it. They have more than one title. Work on stuff. Back in December for our Season of Reveals event, we shared an exclusive gameplay showcase for TSW VR New York, and if you want to see more, head to the updated TSW VR Metastore page where you can pre-order ahead of March 27th. There was also a few little snippets that popped out the other day, which I did as an article. You can also make the most of MetaQuest exclusive features, including your very own New York apartment, where you can review all your game breakdowns and training manuals filled with collectibles, a photo album of pictures, all the pictures you can take along your journey, boasting a city view of the Harlem line from your window. So it's kind of cool, actually, because the game basically runs from the apartment, and all of your choices and things that you make, it happens through the apartment, and you can relive your moments in the apartment by looking at things that you've collected and the photos that you've taken. It's actually kind of cool. I like it. It's not Train Sim World though, so don't expect Train Sim World, all right? Go and play some MetaQuest games. This is the most I can tell you. Go and play some MetaQuest games because that's what you should expect, all right? Expect something that suits MetaQuest. Is any little platform. Thomas and friends visit the West Somerset Railway, releasing this spring. Beep, beep, beep. I'm looking forward to Thomas. I know it's got its haters, but I really don't care. Our railway runs Thomas. In fact, not this Saturday, but the Saturday after, I'm actually firing James on our Thomas Day. So I think it's a lot of fun, and it'll bring in a whole new generation audience into the game. That is a good thing because their parents will spend money. And after their parents spend money, more development will happen for the rest of us. So, Thomas ahoy. And you know I'm going to run Thomas because I actually like Thomas. I first met Thomas before I had kids, a long time ago. And then the series came out with the original model railway version of Thomas, and my kids absolutely loved it. We lived in America for a time, and we were desperate to make sure that not the only voice input they had in their lives sounded American, and we found Ringo with Thomas, and we were very happy. Here comes the household vacuum cleaner, so my voice may sound a bit funny for a while. We are very excited as we continue to work closely with Mattel and help prepare Thomas and his friends for a visit to the West Somerset Railway and Train Sim World this spring. Just saying, I had been part of the interface with Mattel when I was volunteers running Thomas on my railway. It's not the volunteers anymore, it's done by the corporate, but they're really controlling, so they'll be dictating stuff. Anyway, in case you missed it, watch the first trailer we released for Thomas and Friends. No, I'm not going to play it, so please go and find it and play it if you want. The reason I'm not going to play it is because I took the opportunity to play it in a news article about Thomas, and as predicted, Mattel whacked me, and yep, that's thank you, YouTube, and your stupid policies. Seems free use and fair use. Well, YouTube talks about them, but it doesn't really support them. That's fine. As you get ready for the release, here's the top things you need to know. Mattel's Thomas and Friends is coming in spring 2025. So that is within the next 3 months. I love COVID. The add-on will require Train Sim World 5 and the West Somerset Railway route. The good news is there is a bundle, so there's actually some pricing announced. I did that in the previous article. You can buy a TSW5 with West Somerset and Thomas cheaper than buying just West Somerset, which is kind of cool. So even if you don't want Thomas and you haven't got West Somerset, go buy that because you'll get West Somerset cheaper. Catch up with your favourite characters. The add-on will feature Thomas the Tank Engine, Annie, Clarabelle, Diesel, and the Troublesome Trucks. Get ready for a multi-part story with gameplay featuring a fun narrative for you to follow along all across a range of scenarios. An additional timetable will feature Thomas and Friends characters, and they can also be driven on any route in Train Sim World using the free roam feature. Tutorials and Thomas the Diesel exist in the training centre for anybody to be able to pick up and play. Good stuff. Now, we know from previous articles that Thomas will have a simpler driving system than usual, which is really, really good because it not only opens it up for the kids to play, but it also opens the door for people who don't have complete physical abilities, who will, and perhaps also people with things like acquired brain injury and the like, who may find a simpler system easier to cope with. I'd love to see a simpler system coming into the rest of the game as well. I'd love to see every locomotive have the option of having a simpler feature, simpler control set. Something just like go faster, slow down, stop. I think that would be really, really good for bringing additional people into the game, non-trained people. Yes, it's a train simulator, but it's also a game. Okay? A lot of people want to play this, and I see time and time again, people pick this game up and they go, it's just too bloody hard, and they either refund it or they never play it again. And I'd like to accommodate those people. And that also means accommodating the people who have different abilities and don't quite make the main line. So if you get what I mean, they need to work on a branch because maybe they're a bit slower in the way they do things, or their physical abilities are a bit different. Having a simpler control system translate from this DLC across everything would be so good for those people. And I have people of those, when I say those people, I have people like that in my family. So I'm very, very supportive of a new control system. And I'm really strongly pushing that it comes to everything as an option. It's got to be an option. Alrighty. I think that's about it, actually, for this article. Is it? No. Sorry. West Somerset Railway, a new free update coming in March. The West Somerset Railway route itself is also receiving a range of new updates to elevate the foliage and landscape across the route, including bringing a range of improvements such as conductor mode for the Mark I coaches and new suspension physics to all WSR rolling stock. Well, that's cool. So we're getting some extra beans for our buck, but it's free, so there is no buck. You're just getting beans. Alrighty, we have here the D, is it 65? Yeah, 6508. Pulling along a set of carriages. WSR is a bit of a slow railway, but it's still fun. I actually like it now because it's pretty. We have some new passengers sitting around there. You certainly get modern passengers in WSR because, you know, it's a heritage railway. Do visit WSR in real life if you get the opportunity. It's actually a really good experience. It's a lot better in real life than it is in the game, I have to say. Prepare to spend some time because there's a lot to see. Here are some of the new features you can expect. Improved foliage and landscape materials to TSW5 standards. Improved route and signal lighting. Improved tracks to include TSW5's long-distance shadows. Added suspension to all WSR stock, including the Class 33 and the 52. Added conductor mode to the WSR Mark Is. Replaced all benches with interactive ones for passengers. That means the passengers can sit down, but that might also mean we can. Opened up footbridges for passengers and the player, and many more. Well, that's cool. There's a lot more railfan opportunities then. I could see myself leaving it streaming for a day, just railfanning. Just people drop in and out whenever they feel like it. And watch the AIs. I reckon that would actually be a cool thing to do. I've done it with a couple of other routes, and it's surprising how well it's received, actually. There we have some people crossing over the tracks, heading to ride a 101 by the looks of it. We'll share a full list of changes when the release updates, but for now, enjoy a selection of new screenshots to showcase the changes you can expect to experience coming for free to owners of the add-on later in March. So as long as you've got it, you get the add-ons. That's blue, whatever it is. It looks like there's a new bench for looking out over the sea, which would be cool. Down around the corner somewhere is Minehead, and I stayed there for a couple of days. It was very nice. That looks like Scooty flying along there. It's green. I remember it being the other green, but that's okay. Content up ahead. 3 lines to Frankfurt announcing the Frankfurt S-Bahn. That's right, more sausages. Yep, you're reading this right. We're excited to announce that Frankfurt S-Bahn will be coming to Train Sim World 5. For Frankfurt S-Bahn, we are representing the S1, S8 and S9 lines in the S-Bahn Rhine-Main network, covering over 80 kilometres and a total of 25 stations between Frankfurt am Main Hauptbahnhof, including the underground TIEF platforms to Wiesbaden Hauptbahnhof. This is no great surprise because Lucas lives in Frankfurt. And he's going to want his trains in the thing, isn't he? Looks like quite an extensive network with the Wiesbaden via Frankfurt-Hochst, then the Wiesbaden via Flughafen and Mainz-Hochbahnhof, and Frankfurt-Wiesbaden via Flughafen and Mainz-Kastel. So there's 3 lines, a lot of shared trackage between the 3 lines, so that will actually be quite an interesting run, I think. I'm not going to try and read out all of the German station names. I'll just make a fool of myself. Oh, I know you want me to. Frankfurt Hauptbahnhof Tief, underground. Frankfurt Niederrad, Frankfurt Stadion, Frankfurt Flughafen, Regional Bahnhof, Kelsterbach, Ronheim, Russelsheim Oppelwerk, Bischofsheim, Gustavsburg, Main Romisch Theatre, Mainz Hauptbahnhof, Mainz Nord, Frankfurt Gresham, Frankfurt Nied, Frankfurt Hochst, Frankfurt Farbwerk. Sounds like a band. Frankfurt Sindlingen, Hattersheim, Edersheim, Flosheim, Hockheim, Mainz Kastel, Wiesbaden Ost, Wiesbaden Hochbahnhof. There you go. Your Germans are rolling around now, laughing your asses off. That's fine. And we see a class 423 up there, so that was probably hinted at the mainstay train for the S-Bahn. Each line offers a different driving experience. The S1 takes a more direct westerly route out of Frankfurt, calling at suburban locations in the outskirts of the city and running north of the Main River, the longest tributary of the Rhine, all the way to Wiesbaden. S8 and S9 share an alternative path, which initially heads south to serve Frankfurt Airport's regional station, before stopping at all stations on the Mainbahn south of the Main. The route is set prior to opening of Frankfurt Gateway Gardens, offering a chance to traverse over the original airport approach, which no longer exists. The route scenery will show the new flyover under construction, as can be seen here. Note the full overhead line equipment is yet to take place, i.e. don't pick on them because they just haven't done it yet. Wonder what we'd need a backdated route for. Oh, they're dropping a hint, aren't they? That's a hint for a new train, folks. There's the flyover being built. One of the really interesting things is watching Germans build stuff. Man, they're quick. They're not like those nations that take 4,000 years to make a bridge that much longer. No, they just make stuff. At Bischofsheim, the lines part ways and the S9 takes an S-bend viaduct over the Main to join the S1's path into Wiesbaden, leaving the S8 to continue via Mainz Hauptbahnhof, the start of the Link-Rheinstrecke, before making itself a sweeping turn to Wiesbaden, crossing the Rhine twice in the process. So expect some river crossings. We can see 2 more 423s here, so they haven't given us the train, but clearly they want to. For further operational interest, other lines traffic is of course present, such as the S7 to Frankfurt Stadion, which uniquely terminates on the surface at Frankfurt Hauptbahnhof, and S2 as far as Frankfurt Fabwerk. Not forgetting, of course, how busy the underground station is with further addition of S3, S4 and S5 and S6 AI-only traffic. Lastly, lines such as the S8 and S9 are some which run a full 24/7 timetable, offering full-length runs at all hours of the day and night. The DB-BR 430, here we go. New to Frankfurt S-Bahn will be the hard-working DB-BR 430 electric multiple unit, which operates the bulk of the traffic on the S1, S8 and S9 lines. This 4-car high-capacity electric multiple unit has been in full operation on the S-Bahn Rhine-Main since their introduction a little over a decade ago. The design is reminiscent of the DB-BR 422, although with a more modern fittings and tweaks befitting a busy network such as Frankfurt. The 430s replaced the much-lamented DB-BR 420, wink wink, and expanded the size of the fleet to offer the total of 9 trains an hour in each direction, spread across all 3 lines with up to 12-car formations. So what they're saying is the 420 is finally coming out, and it's coming out with S-Bahn. We aren't quite ready to show off this just yet, but rest assured, it's well underway, and anyway, there might be another train to show off in a bit. So they're hinting still that there's another train coming. DB-BR 423, supplementing the 430 is, of course, the DB-BR 423, a staple electric multiple unit for the S-Bahn networks across Germany. The version included with Frankfurt S-Bahn will feature a new interior to represent the S-Bahn Rhine-Main variant, as well as some physics upgrades. The BR 423 fleet is currently no stranger to the Wiesbaden lines, although spends a majority of its time serving other destinations, making it a key part of the scene around Frankfurt Hauptbahnhof. Other traffic. Providing a regional touch is the DB-BR 143 and Dosto combination, which runs RB services out of Wiesbaden. AI-only traffic such as the ICN freight will suitably layer across the route. You see the 423 and the 143 with its dostos. They had to put dostos in somewhere, didn't they? There's always has to be dostos. Bloody dostos. TSG Triumph. It's only been 4 years. The DBBR 420 returns. Yep, 4 years. 4. If you know, you know. All rise for the Olympiatric B-Wagon on the DBBR 420 from TSG returns to the roadmap. It is once again coming soon. And it looks a little more complete than it has in the past, because there it is, the DBBR 420. So it looks like it really is real now. It's actually coming, because that's it in the game. Pantograph's not up, but that's okay. We reached out to Mike at TSG for an update from the former dormant project, and the good news is the focus of the pack has shifted to support gameplay on the upcoming Frankfurt S-Bahn route. The originally planned Munich S-Bahn version of the model will still be included. The Munich version is a modernised 8 Series 420 with swinging doors, digital display, speedometer, LZB, PZB and such. In the cab, an LED destination board. The Frankfurt version is a 7th series with sliding doors, analog cab gauges for speedo and PZB CIFA, no LZB here, and roller blind destination board. The interiors are a bit different too in colours, and there are differences in the decals, of course. It's nice and blue and checky inside and grey. Very German grey. Not the same shot. It is the same shot. Oh, okay. So the first image is Munich, the second image is Frankfurt. Yeah, I'm sure someone can pick the difference. It isn't me. Those who have been looking forward to the 420 since TSW 2 days can rejoice. Yep, 4 years, as it shall be hot on the heels of the Frankfurt S-Bahn routes. Compared to the modern 430, the 420 is a 3-car electric multiple unit without any walk-through gangways, and all-round represents a much more classic style of driving and riding along the S-Bahn Rhine-Main, what with it being from the early 1970s. There we go, there's a 420 sitting in the game. Outside a fairly large depot by the looks of it. The DBBR 420 will come with its own interpretation of the Frankfurt S-Bahn timetable, swapping out 430 traffic for its classic predecessor. The Munich S-Bahn BR 420 can be used on Hauptstrecke Munchen Augsburg in free roam and scenario planner. Keep an eye out for future news regarding the Frankfurt S-Bahn and the DBBR 420, each which promise to provide the ultimate S-Bahn experience, coming soon to TrainSim World 5. Note that the Frankfurt S-Bahn and the DBBR 420 will both be Gen 9, Xbox Series S and PS5 and PC only, not PS4, not Xbone. A new German pack coming soon from TSG. Finally wanted to highlight another addition to the roadmap asset this month, which shares news of an unannounced new German loco pack, developed by the TrainSim Germany teams. We'll be sure to give you more details in the coming weeks, so stay tuned. Third-party partners with the BR Class 86/2 and the Mark IIF coaches from Just Trains. We've had a look at those in a separate article, so I will skip over these. Go to that article if you want to have a look. Santa Fe gameplay pack for Cajon Pass from High Iron Simulations. The High Iron Simulations team are continuing to work well towards the completion of their first TSW add-on, and this month they've talked about the final stage of development from the Santa Fe gameplay pack, and there's the war bonnet livery, which is quite a spectacular one. High Iron Simulation, we have been refining details of the 2 locomotives, the Santa Fe EMD SD40-2 and the AT and SF GE-8 40 CW, and putting the finishing touches on the accompanying rolling stock, which include 3 entirely new AT and SF freight cars and 3 existing TSW freight cars painted in Santa Fe liveries. That'll be a cool addition. Oh, I like this smashed up desert bomb. There's a cool car. As shared previously, the pack will deliver an authentic operating experience. Timetable services will include player drivable services featuring mainline intermodal and freight trains, switching, and locals. Ooh, good, I like locals. The services are closely based on actual Santa Fe freight schedules and horsepower assignment of the era. So it's looking pretty cool. Additionally, Union Pacific freight movements across Cajon Pass will be represented in an extra layer using UP equipment from the Sherman Hill Route DLC. The pack will also include a selection of scenarios which are being worked on at the moment, and we're looking forward to sharing more details. We look forward to showcasing more soon from the High Iron Simulations team. So that'll be an interesting one. High Iron stuff in TSC was always very hit or very miss, so I'm hoping for a very hit. We'll see. East Coast Mainline Diesel Rail Tour pack from Athena. We've checked in with Athena Simulation Team this month to see more progress from the upcoming East Coast Mainline Diesel Rail Tours pack. For a refresher, you'll be able to pick up 3 iconic locomotives, the BR Class 40 Whistler, Class 45 Peak, and a new Class 47 47484 Isambard Kingdom Brunel, along with new Mark I coaches and the BG, TSO, BSO, and FK variants for the East Coast Mainline route. The pack will feature 10 scenarios with new features such as depot movements and opportunities for special rail tours, along with layering across many existing TSW5 routes, including timetables across TSW5 as a whole. Green. Athena Diesel Rail Tours was conceived as a spiritual sequel to the highly successful Diesel Legends of the Great Western for Train Sim World, bringing a classic traction to the East Coast Main Line. Yet the East Coast Main Line is far from the end of the line, with all 3 locomotives being fully available to drive across a wide range of UK-based routes in TSW5. The team went to great lengths to ensure the Class 47, 45 and 40 operate within the timetable of many routes, including the era-specific routes and even heritage routes in TSW5, and the popular 1980s-based routes from Just Trains, West Coast Mainline, Preston Carlisle, Blackpool branches, Preston, Blackpool and Ormskirk routes. So they'll be appearing all over the place is what they're saying to you. Athena says 47484 Isambard Kingdom Brunel is arguably one of the most popular and iconic diesel locomotives in the history of British Railways, and the team has spent long months recreating her in detail for the famed Great Western Railway green livery that the locomotive carried in recognition of the centenary of the Great Western. And there she is. Wearing livery was used as a premier prestige diesel, being allocated the duty of hauling the Royal Train along with numerous rail tours and special event services across the entire UK network. So that's a hint. Additionally, special release versions of the 45 and 40 locomotives also fully included in the pack. These locomotives also became icons of the railway network, albeit less glamorous duties hauling freight and express passenger services around the UK. That's a bloody weird looking window. Anyway, there's a 45. Included in the pack is the BG, TSO, BSO and FK variants, and the team were careful to choose the versions of the Mark I coaching stock that were dual air and vacuum braked, offering maximum versatility when used with your own scenarios with a locomotive of your choice. See, it's one sitting here in the snow. That's a fairly nice snow overlay, actually, on that locomotive in Doncaster. Thank you, Athena Simulations. Stay tuned for further updates. Cargo Line Volume 3 Intermodal from Skyhook Games. We also wanted to check in for a short update from Skyhook Games for the upcoming Cargo Line Volume 3 pack, which is continuing to progress well this month. See here's some intermodal trains in the snow.
We played a game.